think we're almost live here.
Lo ponía ahí y filmaba el
We're live.
de
We're live. Hey, shut up. We're live here.
We're live. Yeah, damn it.
I think we're live. So we've been having technical difficulties here, but with that said, welcome to episode 1.
Thank you.
The Bikes and Beers podcast.
Thank you.
Super excited.
All right, episode 1.
It is exciting, man. We're the first ones.
Yeah, so a lot of technical difficulties so far today, but we'll see how this whole thing turns out. Hopefully it turns out well. I want to thank Jaime.
Thank you.
Follow him on Instagram, by the way, crazy_traveler305, right?
That's right.
Follow him. He's got a YouTube channel upcoming. He's going to be very, very good. We have Trigger over there getting some lovin's. Trigger, yeah, say what's up. We got my man Juan.
Yo.
HD Hugger 883 on Instagram. What's
HD883 Hugger.
That's the one. HD883
That's the
Hugger. And for some reason, I still can't manage my stream on here, so whatever. Oh, no, there it is. Got it.
Nice.
All right, and we have my man Diego, the Peruvian guy, who I haven't seen in forever. I don't know where the hell he's been keeping himself.
I bought a house, so for the past month, I've been literally working in the house, like hammering, painting, destroying walls, destroying floors, and such. So
Hey, let's mute our phones. We're trying to be professional here.
actually, that was my laptop.
And we're supposed to be able to watch ourselves here, but I have no idea what's happening.
The first time we'll always be glitching.
Yeah, we're always glitching here. Oh, there we go.
There we are.
All right, anyway. Oh wait, I gotta mute that. Anyway, so gentlemen, I brought you all here today so we can talk about Harley Davidson as a company. So I'm sure you've all seen the news. Harley Davidson's been in, yes, that Harley Davidson. And keep in mind, we're talking about this from the consumer standpoint. None of us is a business expert, but we're all Harley riders and we all love Harley, and Harley, no matter what the company is going through or what you say about it, it remains the dominant brand in motorcycling. It is the most powerful brand in motorcycling, and I don't want to hear any arguments.
You can try to fight it.
You can try to fight it, but the fact remains over 50% of all registered motorcycles in the U.S.
That's right.
are Harley Davidsons.
That's right.
So that just tells you that all the other companies are fighting over whatever the other percentage is. So, having said that, how do you guys feel about Harley basically doing away with all the future plans that they had about the coming up with new bikes? The new Sportsters have been killed. The only bike they're keeping out of their future concepts bike is the Pan America.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and of course, due to the pandemic, the 2021 bikes haven't even hit the dealerships yet.
They're not doing the Bronx anymore?
The Bronx got killed. They're not doing it anymore.
Wow, that was a badass bike.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I saw some pictures.
I've been wanting to get a naked bike,
Yeah.
and I was waiting for the Bronx to come out. I'm very disappointed that the Bronx is not
What
out.
about that other one, the cafe? The cafe.
Oh,
one?
yeah.
That got
I got canceled as well, right?
Wow.
Let's go live on
Because
Instagram.
of the corona? Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
No, well, no. See, they brought in a new. Hang on, let me go live on Instagram too here.
One thing I want to see, make sure that they can hear us. The GoPro's a little far away.
I'm sure they can hear us.
Yeah.
I mean, I could hear us when we unmuted the.
Oh, cool.
The camera.
Perfect.
All right, so we were just saying they killed the Bronx, and Harley Davidson. Anyway, they hired a brand new CEO right before the pandemic, and this CEO came in and he started what they called the rewire strategy. Trigger's over there getting some love, by the way, if you're just joining us on Instagram. They call it the rewire strategy, and essentially they said they're going to focus on their core business. But at the same time, they went ahead and they pulled out of India. They pulled the Sportster out of Europe.
Oh, wow.
It looks like they're marshaling all their resources and just focusing on the U.S. So, what do you guys, as Harley consumers, what do you guys think about that? What do you feel about that? Is Harley doing the right thing? Is Harley just accepting its decline? Is Harley actually declining?
When we were talking about recently, not even tonight, but a few days earlier, when we were talking about what's new around the Harley business and whatnot, we keep talking about the same things, live wire, and now Jaime was just mentioning, yeah, I think it was Jaime. He was mentioning the what's the serial one bike or whatever.
They had in their future concepts, like they had a cafe racer.
No. I'm talking about like the electric bicycle.
The electric bicycles. I don't
That's
know.
what I keep seeing now.
I don't know if those got scrapped or not.
No,
They're on their website right now.
They're on the website. They haven't been scrapped. So apparently they're pursuing that.
Pearson's is mentioning them.
That's what I mean.
So that hasn't got scrapped, but we know the Sportster, the redesigned Sportster got scrapped, and we know the Bronx got scrapped. So is that the right thing? Is Harley just embracing its decline? But hang on. So keeping in mind, at the same time, its stock has risen, like astronomically, over the past few months.
Did that happen before they scrapped all those bikes or after?
After. They scrapped all those bikes Q1. They didn't release it publicly. They didn't make any noise about it.
Right.
But
that could be many factors, right? Because a lot of the stock market has been up and down the last
the stock market
6 months like
I think-
crazy.
I think they're trying to push the eco-friendly the live wire because my personal opinion on the next 5 to 10 years or even earlier, the general transportation is going to be eco-friendly. They're trying to push it really hard on that.
They say that in the next 5 to 10 years, more 5 than 10, there's this guy that has made a lot of like studies and kind of like predict the future when it comes to a lot of disruption industries.
Sure.
And he said that in the next 5 to 10 years, more 5 than not, every new production car
will be electric.
will be
that I
electric.
can
There won't
guarantee.
be a new production car that is not going to be electric. In motorcycles, I don't know because I don't think that the technology is there.
Right. I work in the electric car industry. I can guarantee you. I mean, California already said in 2030, internal combustion engines are banned in California.
But the funny thing, I believe in the taking care of the environment and all that, and I thought they should have done that a long time ago. But the funny thing is, they're not doing it because it's good for the environment. They're doing it because it's a lot cheaper to produce and maintain an electric vehicle.
Absolutely.
So that being said,
Go ahead.
I think, in my opinion, Harley Davidson was rebranding for the future, right? They cater to this great generation of Harley consumers that have made
The
what
baby
brand
boomer
is.
generation
Right.
and the generation that bought bikes in the 90s in astronomical numbers.
Correct. Nowadays, people really need bikes that are a little bit more affordable and that gives you the technology and comfort of the Asian bikes,
Okay,
more
now,
likely.
to play devil's advocate, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But then, how does scrapping two smaller, arguably more eco-friendly models like the Bronx and like the Sportster, I mean, when you compare them to a Road Glide, a Fat Boy like I have, these bigger bikes, then why, if you're trying to do that, why are you scrapping smaller models?
That's why, in my opinion, they are going the wrong way. Not because it's a more eco-friendly vehicle, but
Sure.
they need to get their bikes, the affordable bikes for our generation, which is millennials mostly, to have more technology and more comfort for the same price as the competitors. Right now, you can get a Sportster, which it's really not that comfortable to ride
Sure.
in long rides, and it costs you almost the same as a bike that has ABS and computer-guided systems, really good suspension and
Cooled.
yeah, but it's water cooled. So I thought they were going towards that with the Bronx.
So the question
And the
is,
Bronx was very expensive already.
So, before you tell us what the question is, if you're watching on Instagram right now, and we do have some watchers, please switch over to YouTube. Just go to the channel 305 Rider. I shared the link in my story, so go ahead and go there, and you can finish watching the stream there. All right, so what is the question?
the question is, why are we Harley consumers? Because the brotherhood, the sound of the bike, well, I might say their reliability, because they've been in business for 100 years. That tells you something,
Sure.
And it's just something about the brand. So, in my personal opinion, I think that they're not trying. They're trying to go for a different market, and the reason why they're scrapping those bikes because, like I said at first, they're trying to push it onto that the newer technology, like you were saying just now, and they're trying to push the live wire instead of having a less expensive bike that offers you way less than the Japanese bikes. I don't know if I explained myself correctly.
Yeah, I agree with that, but what I don't agree is a live wire, in my case, it's way out of budget.
It's a 30 grand bike.
It's a $30,000 bike, absolutely.
Me being a millennial, and I believe I'm kind of like in the average spectrum of the consumer as a millennial, will not go and buy a live wire because it's very expensive.
I tell you, what I think the issue was, at least with the Bronx. So Harley is notorious for their high prices.
Yeah.
Take the live wire, for example. The live wire is not by any sort of, nowhere near being the best electric motorcycle out there.
No.
Have you test rode it?
I have test rode it, yeah. The Damon motorcycle, the Hypersport HS, will run circles around the live wire in every category: range, horsepower, torque, everything. It looks way better. I honestly believe two things. One, Harley couldn't get the price point of the Bronx low enough to compete.
Right.
If the Bronx was going to be successful, it had to compete price-wise with the FZ09s or the MT09s.
The MB Augusta.
The MB Augusta is another thing, but
they have a
Hondas and Suzuki's, right? It had to be
the other
around
bikes, it was like the
50,000.
same bike basically, but
Sure, yeah, but they couldn't be there. They had to be able to compete with the Kawasaki's and the Hondas and the Yamahas. And I don't think whether they didn't want to get the price low enough or they couldn't get the price low enough. I think that's one reason they pulled the Bronx. The second reason, and this goes to the broader thing of why they're pulling everything in and focusing laser focused on what they're good at, is I believe they're trying to sell the company. I think the board of directors of Harley is actually actively trying to sell the company. Whether it's to a foreign investor, to a new American investor, to whomever. But I think they're doing this to make the books look as good as possible for now, so they can sell the company. If not, I don't see any other reason as to why you scrap most future projects and why you start focusing in on your core market, which you happen to know is a core market that is retiring and dying off. It's an aging market, and we all know this. So if I'm right, how does Harley selling itself affect the whole thing? Do we feel like it wouldn't be no longer Harley Davidson?
well,
That has already been done a few years ago, right? Well, no. But you went what is it, AMF? And well, we all know what happened there. The quality dropped.
Sure.
The bikes from that area are looked badly.
Sure.
They're called by their second brand, if you will. Those AMF era Harleys, everybody's like, well, no.
Yeah.
So what will happen if we go down that route again?
so I don't know. I think Harley was going down before they started doing all these, plans for the future generation. When I saw the price of the Bronx, I was praying that the Bronx was going to be competing with the
It had to.
MT09 or the Yamaha Z.
The Yamaha is the MT09, and you have the Honda C.
Yeah, right. So, but the thing is that
Was it?
no, it was very.
What was the Bronx's price point? I never saw one.
I thought it was around same as the Lightbar, 30,000 or something like that. 20,
Oh, wow.
20
No, I
something.
don't think so.
Really?
Couldn't have been.
I think it was quite more expensive than a
If
Yamaha.
it was, then that was going to be the most premium bike, naked bike on the market.
Don't take that number. I'm just taking it out of my head. I thought it was quite high. I know it was higher than the Yamahas and the Hondas. And the problem with that is that no one was gonna buy it,
So the same.
or no one that could see both. I
The
mean,
same old story.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty
Do you
much.
want to pay for the brand again?
I don't think it was going to have the technology and comfort and rideability as the other bikes because.
Right, because they've been doing those bikes for years.
Correct.
And it's another thing, because you just said it, you're paying for the brand. People like us, we're willing to pay for that brand, because we've been with Harley for a long time. But the new guy entering the market,
Right.
he doesn't give a damn about Harley Davidson. He's gonna look, okay, I like this style of bike, let me shop around. Oh, the Kawasaki's way cheaper, that's what I'm going.
Yeah.
That's what I can afford.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
Especially for that type of bike.
And
So
Especially,
if
and
you
the
want
people,
an old school type cruiser, Harley Davidson #1.
Sure,
But
and if you're
but
looking-
we're going towards the adventure
right.
type.
And if you're looking at a sportier, more naked bike like the Bronx was going to be,
Harley.
at a $30,000 price point, assuming that's correct.
Let's say it's 20.
Let's say it's even 20. Yeah, the people who can afford those higher price levels aren't looking for those bikes.
nope.
It's the kids in college. It's the 22, 23-year-olds.
They rather
And they'd rather go cheap. They'll
Yeah.
buy a used FC09
Correct.
from 5 years ago just so they can get it on the road.
And in terms of brand, and JC knows this, I am not a big brand person, so I didn't really go to Harley because of the brand. I went because of the style of the motorcycle. Like I like my Iron 883 better than the Honda Shadow Phantom.
Okay.
I really consider Honda Shadow Phantom because, especially when I saw both models and I saw that the Honda had like the fuel gauge indicator and better suspension and the drivetrain doesn't need any maintenance and the belt might break in the Harley and all that. And I was like, well, for a lot cheaper, I can get Honda Shadow. The only thing is that my Iron sounds like a small V8 and it's delicious and I like more the style of it, so that's why I went for it.
Sure, it's about the bike itself. It's not about the brand.
But let's say Honda goes to a very close kind of style and sound
Oh yeah.
to Harley, and they offer a better product with
Is it
or a better
product?
better value.
It's a better value.
Better
That
value.
we can all agree.
Because Honda, for example, and Yamaha and those companies are very. They've been also like a long time around, and they're easy to maintain. There are parts for all of the bikes everywhere. It's cheap to do the service and all that.
Here's a question. We have a question from Biker Stan. Shout out to you, my man, by the way. I know him well. He asks, why do Harley riders not acknowledge sport riders and vice versa? Well, first off, let me say this. I've never met a bike I didn't like. I acknowledge everybody on the road. You've seen me. I ride with sport bikers, cruisers, Triumphs, and European bike. I ride with everybody. There's a lot of this older generation, however, that does feel that sport bikers are hooligans or lesser, or I don't know what the heck they're thinking.
Right.
But it doesn't represent all of us.
Unfortunately, Harley has also that stigma. Sorry to interrupt. I think that Harley Davidson or older bikes style has this stigma that motorcycle clubs are the one percenters,
Sure.
and every rider is like, you know, they look at you like you're an outlaw,
Right.
which is not
That's
true.
not the case at all. We know that.
But unfortunately, we have that stigma.
Sure.
I've gone into places wearing my leather vest,
You're cut.
you know, getting off my Harley, and people look at me like, who the hell is this guy? You know,
Yeah.
or you know.
They start assuming things, right? And yeah, Harley does have that stigma, but I think what he's getting to, and I hate it when people do this. I hate brand snobs, whether they're Harleys or Ducatis or Yamaha or Honda. When you look down on somebody because of the brand of their bike, I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Or the style.
Or the style.
For that matter, right?
Really.
I for instance, I like you. I love multiple styles of bikes.
Sure.
I would love to have a Ducati Diablo. That's my kind of like dream bike.
Yeah.
And I would,
And by the way, I will say the worst brand snobs, it's actually not Harley, it's Ducati.
yeah, of course. But I think
There's even a meme I saw. It was pretty funny. Ducati riders at the meets, you know, wearing their suits and drinking champagne and stuff at the meets.
Alright, sorry, we keep cutting you off.
because the thing is, yeah, Ducatis are very expensive. Same with Aprilia or MV Agusta. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter what kind of ride you have, but it does matter how you ride it,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that's the difference. I think, and this is completely generalizing, and it's probably also a stigma.
Absolutely.
A lot of sport bike riders have the stigma that, oh, they ride, like you say, hooligans, and you know, they go between lanes and pass you super fast, and you know, very close, and you know, they may be prone to create accidents that way. And I think that's why a lot of the older generation don't like them.
Probably.
I personally, if it's a respectable or respectful rider and they ride fine and they're okay, I have no issue with it.
Yeah, no.
And which goes with Harley riders too.
Absolutely. And I have no issue with anybody who rides crazy. If they, look, I don't think it's safe. I'm gonna stay way behind them if they're doing things like
Yeah.
wheeling on the Palmetto. But if they wanna do it, that's their right.
To each your own.
You know, just do your best to not endanger others.
That's my issue.
And I'm not gonna put myself in danger because you wanna do something crazy. If you wanna go out wheeling, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna hang back. Or I'm gonna go ahead. Either way, if you fall, I'm gonna be nowhere near, but I hope to be there to help you out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with hooliganism as long as it doesn't affect anyone else. If you fall on your bike and hit another car, or your bike hit another car, even if it hits a little bit, you're creating a real problem for them because they have to stop, and they have to stop whatever they're doing in their day for hours to deal with a problem that they didn't deal with. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. If you're gonna go win the Palmetto, make sure when your bike falls, or if it falls and you fall, you don't hit anybody. If you kill yourself, that's good. That's or you injure yourself. I mean, it's really sad, and I don't wish that to anybody. But it was your decision to do it, right?
Sure.
So I think respect has to be maintained, especially when the predominant transportation are cars, and they already have stigmatized the emergency bikes.
Yeah.
That's what.
I think that another issue there is, especially when you're riding in groups, cars, like you said, already have, most car drivers have this stigma about bikers, whether they're sport riders or Harley riders, whatever. They don't care. They don't discriminate.
Yeah.
They already have this stigma, and when you like surround a car with bikers, that makes that car get anxious. That's when you see those road rage videos on YouTube start up.
Yeah. So you should maintain your lane, and they can maintain their lane and not be. If it's, you know, a person that is not very comfortable driving, it will make them very nervous. You know? Not because they're Harleys or sports bikes, it's because, I mean, there's all these vehicles that they don't have control over, I think.
So another thing Harley did, let me throw this one.
We have another comment of course.
Let's see. Oh, Biker Stan says he 100% agrees. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
So before you go to
Yeah.
somewhere else, so picking up what you just mentioned now, when we go riding around Miami on formation, so we have, yeah.
Right now, okay. So for those of you who don't know, cruisers, and this doesn't apply to Harley. Most cruisers, I've seen Kawasaki's and Hondas do it, and everybody do it. Cruisers tend to ride in formation, staggered formation. That means one goes here, the next one goes here, the next one goes here, in one lane. Sorry, go ahead.
So what happens? Not speaking of brands, but cruisers and sport bikes are built for different purposes.
Sure.
So you know, we will. How much cc's does your sport bike have? 250.
A sport bike?
Yeah.
Oh, my sport
No,
bike
yours.
is 600. My CBR.
Well, I mean that's a big one. So let's say you have what's a 350? What's that very popular one? 350. I don't even know.
600 is usually about the most popular class.
Okay, so 600. The lowest we have is 883 or so, right? So yeah, I have more cc's than you, but your bike will leave mine in the dust.
Right,
the
that's
bike's
a way different. It's a power to weight ratio.
Exactly. So what's
And
the
also
thing?
you have 4 cylinders instead of 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we're writing information, you know, you're on your sport bike, I'm on my cruiser, you start getting the itch that you want to go fast.
Yeah, and I can tell you as somebody who rides both bikes, I feel like I want to go faster on my sport bike.
Because the bike asks for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing. There is no real problem in riding with other types of bikes, but that's an issue that tends to. Come on, Trip. That's an issue. That's an issue that
It's
tends,
messing with the audio, buddy. I'm
it,
sorry.
it tends to come up. Because we can go, and it has happened. We have been on a 10, 20 bike ride, and the sport bikes break from formation
Right.
to start, touching each other and playing around the road. And that's what, like Diego was mentioning, that's what it starts creating dangerous situation, and you feel like you have to stand back and go back and whatnot.
Do you guys personally, when you pass a sport biker, do you wave at them?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I wave at every bike.
I'm sorry, I'm guilty.
You're guilty?
You
I
know?
don't. I don't wave if they don't wave. I wave back.
You wave
If
back?
they-
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, sure.
If they wave, I wave. The other day, actually, I was on 8th Street, and I was just doing the light, minding my own business, and this guy comes in a classic bike. It was a Honda.
Sure.
I mean, and I know that
Sport bike?
Harley. No, it was a classic bike. But the thing I'm trying to get the point straight
Okay.
that on branding, it doesn't matter if whatever bike you have. If I acknowledge you that you're on 2 wheels, I mean that's cool.
Now, hang on. Because you just said a key word is 2 wheels.
Yeah.
I don't wave. I don't wave at scooters.
Okay.
No, me
Listen, I don't, like, I would never wave
I
a
mean, are
scooter.
those considered 2 wheels?
They're 2 wheels.
But
With a motor.
JC, it's a witness that I once was going
Oh
on
yeah.
the road,
Oh yeah.
and I saw lights. It was dark, kind of like that kind of like dusk time where humans sight it's the poorest in the day.
Sure.
And I saw 3 lights, and I was like, oh, that's definitely a motorcycle. So I did that, and it passed, and it was like it wasn't even like it was
Oh, we're all-
it was a Vespa, like a
We're all
50cc.
guilty of that.
And then
I do
JC
that all the
starts
time,
giving me
you're down.
shit. And I'm like, well, okay, I understand, right? If you're in Brickell, scooters are not scooters, are just annoyances.
There's
Oh.
a million scooters around
Right?
here.
Because the way they drive, they don't drive like a motorcycle, they drive like a bicycle.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay?
JC
So,
dropped his bike, not long,
Because
not
of the
long
scooter.
ago because of the scooter.
yeah. So,
By the way, if you want to see a video of JC falling, go ahead and check out my
Or don't.
the bikini show.
no,
video.
dude, it's really fun.
The bikini show video
I think
shows him falling.
I think we should do what Blockhead did with.
I did.
He
Oh,
did.
really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I didn't
no,
use the
it's-
song, but it's there.
Okay,
So
wait.
you don't watch much.
Hey, no, I haven't watched the
bikini
next
show.
video.
We'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyhow, but yeah, because I think scooters behave in a different way, but a lot of them also are in the same conditions as we are. You know, they have 2 wheels. They have to be in the elements. They are.
Oh,
Yeah, they face the same conditions
Yeah.
we do and the same hazards we do.
And I've ridden a scooter. It was like a
I
150
think here's
cc.
here's the dilemma. People get a motorcycle as a luxury item. People get a motorcycle because they want to be out there on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
People get a scooter because it's convenient for whatever work they're doing.
True.
I think that's where the
Just
difference
I'll go to the
is.
store.
And they don't want a
here,
bicycle.
And they don't
They
want
want to sweat
Sure.
and pedal around.
And they say we'll go here, we'll go there, and they don't wear any gear. They
No.
are squeezing 100%. And the problem is that, dude, you are not only kind of like in the same conditions as a motorcyclist, but worse, your vehicle weighs even less than that. So you're in more danger. Like you should wear the gear, but you know.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, people are, I think we can all agree, people are going to end up doing what they want.
Yeah, true.
It's just a matter of respecting each other's opinions, especially when you're riding motorcycles.
Mhm.
We're all facing the same dangers. And this channel's motto is for the love of 2 wheels.
Yeah.
So, as long as we can all respect each other and realize that we're all facing the same hazards, it shouldn't matter whether you're riding a sports bike or a Harley. But going back to Harley and what they've been doing, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Harley actually cut down production. Like the number of bikes that they're producing for 2021, they dropped it way down.
They're selling the content now.
I
For
think,
sure.
But a side effect of that is that it helps us out, their current customers, because that drives up the value of their used bikes.
Oh, that's good.
So, how do you guys feel about that? Are you more likely to sell your Harley and buy a new one, or
Yeah, but what year are you talking about?
all years?
I don't think so.
All older Harleys are worth more when there's less new Harleys out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is not a 2003 like mine.
Well, yours is specific because yours is an anniversary bike and it has a lot of value.
It does.
It really
It does.
Emotionally, for people,
does.
it's 100 years of advantage.
I don't think the year matters. Harleys, we all know, they hold their value very, very well. A 2000 Sportster, you can still get $5 grand for.
Oh yeah.
Mine is 2010, and that's already 10
You're
years
at
old,
83.
and it was for like $5,000, $4,500.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
in terms of selling my bike,
Oh, if you guys want to light up and smoke,
I don't know if I can sell Moti. Moti is gonna save my life forever.
is that your bike's nickname? I never
Yeah.
knew that. Moti?
But the thing is, I told JC I would buy another bike as long as I can keep Moti with me,
Sure.
you know, and have it for like in town. And when I start doing longer rides, I would like a motorcycle that's a little bit more comfortable.
Sure.
But I don't know. I really love my bike.
No, let me tell you
I
something.
really love
Let me tell you something. That's not that crazy because if you were to go down the same route as I'm going to, which is trading your bike, when they offer you whatever amount it is, and you do the math,
It never feels like enough.
you can just pretty much keep it and work a little extra and get the extra
Right.
money because, I mean,
Right.
Well, I mean, you're always going to get more if you sell privately than if you trade it into the dealership.
but still, what I mean, for example, let's say, and I don't think it isn't, but let's say Diego wanted to go the bagger, big ass touring bike. So it's gonna be, let's say, let's say a $20,000 bike.
Sure.
And he wants to trade in his bike in order to buy the other one. And let's say, okay, I'm going to give you 3,000 for that bike. Okay, so he's still missing 17,000. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So again, I'm gonna keep my bike and I'll find those $3,000
Right.
somewhere else.
Sure.
So it's not that crazy, you know, buying a second bike.
But I don't know in your guys' case, but I know in your case, your bike, I know for a fact that it wasn't your dream bike. Because your dream bike,
wasn't?
no, because I know your dream bike from the beginning was the Iron 883. And you have pictures to prove it. So I think you bought your bike because you wanted to ride, and it was the bike that you could get,
Afford at
and
the
it's
time.
beautiful. I mean, I really love your bike because the color and the details, I think it's amazing. And the carbureted sound of
Oh
the
yeah,
bike,
it's way different than
it's different.
any.
But in my case, that Iron is the one that I always wanted. And I've been trying to get a motorcycle, for those that don't know, for the last 36 years of my life. And I'm 36. So, you know, my mom had a bad experience, like
It's
every
taken
single
though, it's
person.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't let me do it. And then I married my now wife, and she didn't want to do it. And I live in California. Like, I could have had a bike in California for 6 years, and at that time it wasn't feasible. So,
Sure.
Moti,
You know, one day we're going to do an episode and I'm going to invite the two of you as to why you should not get married. But we're not going to talk about that.
Okay, here's a funny thing. You were just now mentioning the Honda Shadow Iron 8083 comparison. I once told myself, Harley Davidson is too expensive, you cannot have one. Not for your first bike.
yeah,
So I kept on looking and looking at the Honda Shadows,
Yep.
and one day just playing around, I went into Craigslist. Used 8083. Surprise.
right.
Your first bike and you didn't do it for your own reasons.
Is your current bike your first bike?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And I had the same thing. I was like, no, a Harley, $10,000. I don't have that. I mean, I can barely afford maybe $3,000 when I was starting.
Exactly.
And I was starting to look at the Irons. I didn't know what a Sportster was. I didn't know about Harley very much. You know, I just saw the big bikes and I didn't want Harley because I don't like baggers. But it was a smaller, more slim, kind of like very elegant and sleek kind of model. And I was like, holy shit, I can get that bike for like $4,500. Like, I'm gonna start saving. And you know, I mean, the Honda Shadow.
Right,
was
so
free,
in
but
those cases, the power of the brand made a huge difference.
it did because, well,
I think it's 50-50. I agree with what he was saying. One thing is the brand, Harley Davidson, number one for me, and second is the style.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you could tell me and I could know that Harley is number one, but if the bikes were ugly, I wouldn't get a bike I don't like just because of the brand.
Right, but check
But the
this.
thing is,
For me,
the
it's
the lower bike, which is the sporting, fucking
I
beautiful
agree.
bike.
Right, it's a gorgeous bike, but think about this. Assume you're somebody, or assume Joe Blow customers coming in. He doesn't know anything about bikes. He just decides wake up one day and say, hey, I want to get a motorcycle. And he likes the cruiser chromed out style. He sees a Honda Shadow. He sees a Harley. They both look beautiful. The Shadow's priced at $2,500. The Harley's priced at $7,000. Which one's he gonna get?
Right.
I think that because of how the tank is slim and you know, and the naked V-twin, I think in my opinion, for me, the Harley looks better. And if Harley would, like this, the 883 would be the same as the Honda Shadow, and Honda Shadow would be the same as the Iron 83, I would have gone for the Shadow. Like,
Of course,
you know, and
Because like you said earlier, it's a better value.
no, because of how it looks. You know, like if the Shadow would look like the Iron, and the Iron would look like the Shadow, right? And the Iron would be Harley, and the other one would be.
Right, if the brands were
I would go
swap.
for the other one just because I like how it looks better. And really, I just have to blame it on Blockhead.
Today,
You have to
you're thinking
blame it.
of yourself.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, imagine like the model 883 look exactly like the Shadow, and the model Shadow look like the Iron 883.
We have another question from
Myself, I would have gone for the Harley.
Why?
Because he's talking about that. I think that person doesn't exist.
You don't think so?
You don't wake up. I want a motorcycle. No.
I never
You
heard
have
about
been-
any
You
brand,
have
yeah.
been looking at motorcycles in movies, the neighbors
That's a
here
fair
and
point.
there. So and you hear Harley. I mean, starting from zero, like I want to buy. I want a motorcycle, and I don't know anything about it.
Sure.
No, but
That's a very fair point.
The Harley
People do a lot of
Davidson
research.
name is going around.
I can talk about my experience. I don't know if you want to answer the question before I.
Oh, go ahead. Because the
Okay.
question changes
So,
our subject completely.
From my experience, I come from the sports bike world. Back in PR, I had a Gixxer 1000.
That's Puerto Rico.
PR, baby.
I was like PR or public relations.
So, coming from the sports bike, when I saw I always liked Harleys. And I've seen some really beautiful Hondas and Yamahas as well. But there's just something about Harleys. It's the sound, the brand, the brotherhood that no other bike has.
I will say this thing though. This is one thing that Harley has over any other brand, even car brand. It doesn't matter. You can walk into any Harley dealership around the country or around the world, really, and you feel like you're at home. You feel like you're in the same spot anywhere else. And I can vouch for it. I just went to Arizona. I walked into 2 Harley dealerships and I knew exactly where I was. I felt at home.
And to complement that, I went to Bali last year, and I went to visit the Harley Davidson dealership in Bali. I felt the same, and I've been to a Harley Davidson dealership in Tokyo, and I felt the same.
There you
So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's that brotherhood word. I think that's what.
I said I had an iron, and I automatically was.
Right, because people see sport bikers watching this or anybody that's not a motorcycle person may hear that word brotherhood and not really understand
Right.
but that's what it applies to it.
The communities.
Yeah, the community. Right?
Yeah.
Let's get to biker
So,
Stan's
you
Stan's
finished?
question.
You
You
finished?
don't have a beer?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you got another beer, of course. Another question that we have from Stan. Yeah. Another question we have from Stan is, do you guys wear foot protection while riding? I can tell you I do. These are actually biking shoes. Look at my white ass legs. These are biking shoes. They're branded Harley Davidson. Most riders, most cruiser drivers that I know wear some type of boot. But there are some idiots out there who wear sneakers. They're not idiots, but
I'm not riding today. I'm wearing sandals. If you guys see me. I'm not
Don't
riding
judge,
today.
don't judge.
But
When
weather
you
didn't
ride,
permit.
when you ride, what are you wearing?
I either have boots. They're not riding boots, but I feel that if I fall, they will protect my feet.
Sure.
I'm
Those shoes as well. The
I'm
Converse.
holding my tongue, Jaime, because I've seen things.
I know.
I've seen things, man. Like,
One
you
thing
know,
is what you feel, and the other one is what they do. I do ride with boots. Now
Riding
always.
boots.
Yeah.
Riding boots. Yeah. Well, they're not boots. They're like kind of like this, but for riding a little higher.
Sure. Right, like these.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yep.
Exactly. All right, let me throw this one at you then. To flip the earlier question about Harley folk having something against sport bikers. One thing that at least that I've experienced, all sport bikers have against cruiser riders is the fact that they never wear gear, they never wear helmets. A lot of us do. You guys always wear a helmet. I'm guilty, I don't always wear them. But there's something that sport bike riders don't agree with on cruiser. I've never seen a sport biker, a real sport biker without a helmet.
I think it's because the way they ride.
I have.
Not in a group.
But it's
In a
not.
group?
It's not as
Oh, no,
common. It's not as
no,
common.
I don't know in a group, but
It's not common. It's not common.
I've seen
It's not
some riders
common.
with like.
It's much more common to see somebody on a
Yes.
cruiser without a helmet.
But
than-
that's the thing, because of the way they ride.
Right.
Yeah, but
Right.
They go fast as hell.
Right, exactly. But they see us as like we're nuts for not riding without a helmet.
and I
I
see
share
everyone
that
riding
opinion,
with a.
man. I share that opinion.
Yeah, I see everyone that rides with a helmet like a maniac.
Without a helmet, like a maniac, I don't know.
Yeah, they.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
well,
I am a maniac. Right? We all know that.
but you're like really, I would be very like. I know sometimes if you're going around the corner, maybe I've been guilty when I'm taking my wife and I don't have two helmets. I give her my helmet.
Oh, you're such a little white man.
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But anyway, but I try to always wear all my gear all the time, and I get a little bit of shit from some people. I don't know who, but I just feel that because I'm taking the decision of riding a motorcycle, which is inherently more risky than
Sure.
any other means of transportation like a car, I want to be as protected as I can. And my head has no price, you know.
I mean, we all understand the safety argument. Some people.
And it's Florida.
I mean,
It's hard as
somebody-
hell.
I know what risk I'm assuming when I ride without a helmet.
That's good.
But just like we talked earlier about brand snobs, there's also these AdGat snobs that will just jump down your throat if you're not wearing all the gear. If you're not wearing like knee pads and the proper boots and everything, they're gonna be, oh my god, you're gonna get so badly burnt on your knees when you fall. It's like, dude, it's just knee pads. I got a jacket, I got everything else, but they're focusing in on the one thing you're not wearing.
Again, it all comes to, in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's your decision. So if you don't want to wear a helmet, that's good. And you know, if you fall, I mean, if you fall walking and you hit your head, you can get in serious trouble. Of course, going anywhere from 10 miles and up, it's
Sure.
the same issue, and it's fine as long as you know that, and it's you the only one that is, getting in harm's way. Then I'm sorry that something bad might happen to you if you get to an accident, but it's your choice, you know.
It's a personal opinion.
It's a
for
personal,
sure.
yeah.
I don't share it, but it is literally your head.
I don't share it, and I don't know if I can say I respect it, but
You do.
I
You do,
will-
because
I
you don't give shit to anybody.
no, I won't.
You respect it.
I still think,
You might have a talk with them if you're talking one-on-one,
like if JC, when I'm riding with someone,
Well, I have told you,
and they're not wearing
I have
helmets,
told
yes.
that guy.
When I'm riding with someone and they're not wearing a helmet, for me I don't like that at all, because if something happens, then it impacts me seriously.
Right.
You know? So that's one
That's fair.
caveat, I guess.
All right, so we're coming up on an hour here. Any final thoughts about anything we've talked about? Harley, gear, sport bike versus cruisers? I want to hear from all of you.
Okay, well, in terms of riding, respect and consideration for me are the two key
Sure.
things, and you should always have it towards other bikers and cars. And then Harley Davidson should really tap into getting their prices a little bit lower or offering a better value for the product that they are, in my opinion.
I'm gonna fully endorse that. I think Harley needs to really. Who keeps calling?
Like I'm paying $10,000 for a Sportster and I cannot have a gear and a fuel gauge.
Mhm.
How much does that cost? You know,
A lot.
things like that.
A lot of it's branded Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Picking up a little bit of what you just said, when they released the new 2020s, instead of
You mean 2021?
no 2020,
Oh, when they released.
instead of adding stuff to the bikes, they removed stuff from the
Yeah, they
bikes.
made them. Look at the soft tail standard.
To give you an example on the because yes I like bikes. On the baggers, some people may know
Look at this.
they have the heel
heel toe shifter. Yeah.
Yeah.
they removed that.
You have that?
If you see the 2020 models, they don't have the heel
No, it's
downshift.
an add-on that you can do.
Interesting.
But they don't have it.
Instead of adding stuff, they
took
remove
away.
it.
Right.
But they're actually going
They're looking.
backwards.
They're looking for that add-on purchase that you're gonna have to make if you want that.
Yeah, but
Nickel
those-
diamond is
those-
never good.
Even on the CVOs, they removed it.
I cannot confirm that.
But
Because
yeah, Harley-
I mean that CVO I will never even
And-
consider it, but I have seen the standard models, and yeah, they don't have the downshift.
And I'm telling you, I really feel that that's what they're doing. They are, I don't want to say cooking the books, because they're not cooking the books. They are
Improving them,
altering,
yeah.
they're altering their business model to the point where the books are going to look better, profits are going to look higher than they actually are, so that they can sell them. I think that's what Harley's doing.
Kind of be, that'll be sad.
Well,
I mean, Harley will still be Harley no matter what. They have their market. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
What are you growling at, sir? You don't want
Indian
Harley
has
to
their
sell you?
market and Harley have their market. I'm a Harley guy. And I think I'm gonna be keeping my bike for more.
Oh, absolutely.
over time.
I think we can all agree, like, one thing that Harley's done throughout history is the power of that brand. It's a lifestyle brand more than a motorcycle brand.
Definitely, definitely.
I mean, you go to malls and you see Harley Davidson retail shops, so.
And at the end of the day, if Harley gets sold, the new owner keeps, you know, that brand and the generation that made the brand happy, and also taps into the new generation and gives better products at the same quality, so be it. Well,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what I think to survive, not to survive.
Yeah,
I think
that's
as a
the word.
matter of good business, Harley should expand their product line. Maybe do, I don't want to say less soft tails, but maybe do less soft tails, and come out with redefine the Sportster as more of a sport bike.
Yeah. Or maybe standard riding or naked bikes and yeah.
Hey, we can go back and forth on this for years. Trigger's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. But yeah, we're up on an hour. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
The first
Thank you
the
for
first
that.
stream of, we're calling it Bikes and Beers. Obviously, we all have a beer in front of us.
This is amazing, I think.
Cheers. Hopefully, this is the first of many episodes,
Definitely.
and we'll see what's up for next week. All right, everybody, ride safe. Thank you very much for being here.
Cheers, take care, guys.
And
Thank you
the
for watching.
stream. And we are out. Thank you.